What's something you thought was going to suck, but was actually really fun? My job. I'm pretty happy here. I thought it would just be a dead-end stepping stone to make money while I find something better. Looks like I might be here a while. I feel the same way about my job. I really liked where I was working at before. Downtown Chicago, nice office, cool young people, got to travel. Got laid off out of nowhere. Took me about 2 months to find a new job, and now I'm not downtown. I'm the youngest person by at least 10 years, and it's generally not that exciting. It's a small manufacturing company, and I'm literally the only salesperson, so I get to run the sales how I want, and I'm probably going to make $30k more this year in commission than last year. The people I work with are nice, and the commute home is easy. I thought it would just be a job until I found something better, but I actually feel happy being here. Same. I'm in the mix for a big promotion too, so there's that. Learning Tango Argentino. I just wanted to find a GF, but now I'm dancing 4 to 5 days a week in my free time. It's addicting, really. I'm part of the local community for a different style of partner dance, and we are always short on men. Many women have learned to lead partly because of this. I can't get over how in the space of a generation or two, so many straight men now think it's not cool to learn to dance. And yet, any that do who maintain some degree of good grooming and personality, have their pick of the single ladies. Plus it's fun, good exercise, and you can meet loads of people without having to engage in much small talk. Is it bad that, whenever I hear a dude is into tango I assume his motivation was to get laid? I know it's unfair, and that some guys sincerely enjoy it as an art, but it's also a socially acceptable way to get handsy with a variety of fit girls, so I can only imagine it attracts the wrong sort of people. Indoor skydiving, I fly and the likes. Basically a big vertical wind tunnel for you to skydive in. I'm someone who usually doesn't enjoy adrenaline rush activities much, hate roller coasters with a passion, and I'm afraid of heights. A chicken, if you'd like. But we went indoor skydiving for a friend's stag do, and it was incredibly fun. The feeling of weightlessness, the control you have on your body with small motions, the wind in your face, loved all of it. I still haven't gone for a real skydive again, chicken, but it was definitely one of the most fun activities I've had. While in the army I coerced a friend to go skydiving with me. He was terrified of heights. He shook the entire way up, but after we landed he was all smiles and wanted to set up another jump. It honestly is unlike anything else, and you will never have more adrenaline running through your body after that first jump. I highly recommend trying the real thing. Neighbors invited me to play soccer. I know nothing about soccer, but I went anyway. I was hoping the whole time the game would get cancelled or there'd be a problem and I wouldn't have to play. I got on the field and people were super friendly and kinda coached me as I tried to play defense. I'm signing up for next season. I was invited to play basketball with friends. I'm not athletic. It took a year to get up the courage to go. I'm so glad I did. They were so encouraging and patient. They took the time to teach me, would give me time to make shots as I was learning, and during breaks teach me plays. It was awesome. One of the best things I have done. Same. I always hated it growing up, but started playing at the gym in college. I remember getting crazy tired to the point I thought my legs were gonna give out, but I just wanted to keep playing. Way I better workout than just running around a track. At a Chains live performance. I was at a hip hop festival a few years ago and stuck around to catch one or two of his songs because me and some friends would joke about his simple repetitive lines, but he ended up being one of the better live performers I saw that whole day. I still laugh at his songs a lot, but 10 would see live again. He really puts most other rappers and hip hop acts to shame. Dude gets up there and performs his tracks front to back with no hype man or vocal backtrack. None of that lazily rapping one verse with the vocal track playing and then explosion glass breaking gunshot sound transition to the next track. No shouting the first half of a line and then pointing the mic at the crowd over and over. He knows he has to do a good job performing those stupidly funny lines, otherwise we'd be laughing at him, not with him. He deserves way more recognition and higher billing at events festivals. Warframe. I saw and heard this free-to-play game hitting on console about being a space ninja traveling the solar system using a variety of different weapons to beat back the tyrants of the galaxy. Sounds pretty cash grabby, doesn't it? 6 years later, I've got all the top prime equipment crafted through endless grinding and powerhouse builds. After looking up guides online while farming all the mods needed to upgrade them, I've become heavily invested in the story, history, lore, character and their motives, that I've picked up all the hidden stories and even look on the wiki for anything that I may have missed. I watch their online dev streams and prime times, and currently I'm highly anticipating their Tekken for what is coming up in the near future. And how much has this cost me? Only about £40 spanned over time, purely because I wanted to show my support to the developers for their support. Dragon Ball. I grew up in small towns playing outside and having jobs outside that related to agriculture and industry. Being raised in such an environment, I adopted the anime's for nerds mentality and never really put much stock in cartoons past the age of 12. I never even really watched Family Guy or The Simpsons. I moved in with my big city, raised weeaboo girlfriend earlier this year, and she was commented on seeing DBZ abridged in my YouTube feed. I told her a friend of mine had tried to show it to me years ago, and I didn't really pay attention, but it would still pop up from time to time. Fast forward 1 week and we have binged all of DBZ abridged and dived right into the original Dragon Ball, so I could understand all the jokes I missed. Now I have to struggle not to watch it when she's gone, as it has become our show we watch together. Walt Disney World. I expected crowds, old technology, and really had no idea what to expect from the rides. We hit the 4 parks on 4 different days and I actually loved it. I'm an adult, by the way. It's awesome there. Highly recommended. As cheesy as it sounds, it really brought back my love of Disney from my childhood. I was never a Disney person, and I'm still not. It's just so well done and impressive that I think anyone can appreciate at least something. I'm waiting in line for the Navi River journey as I'm typing this. Thanks, park-wide Wi-Fi. The only thing I don't like is the humidity. We went in March, so the heat humidity wasn't unbearable. The lines actually weren't too bad either. Have fun. Hanging out with my grandma. She was actually really cool. I taught my grandma how to send pictures via text today. She sent me pictures of flowers. That is super sweet. Is she looking to adopt any other grandchildren? I'd get pictures of roots. I love hanging with my grandma. Both mom and dads always have funny stories and will always laugh at my jokes, no matter how dark. I'm the youngest of 38 grandkids. Most are 15 years older, meaning my grandparents were very old when I was born. They died when I was young, and I have no memory of them. I do get jealous when people talk about how great it was baking with grandma, or when my cousins talk about stuff my grandparents did. Volunteering to help the elderly. I want to get into this. Any advice? My plan is just to scour the volunteer websites in my city. I feel like there are a ton of elderly people that would love a friend to play checkers with, or maybe I can help out around a nursing home. IDK. I had to put my grandma in a home the last few months of her life and I saw so many lonely elderly people it broke my heart. In my case it was organized by my employer. I guess the important step is just start looking in the ways you can help. Would you consider volunteering for hospice? I know that they are always welcoming volunteers to talk with the elderly and just hang out. That's not a bad idea. Thanks for the suggestion. The new Jumanji. It was just a really fun movie that I was very surprised wasn't cash grab bad. When I heard it was gonna be a video game and not a board game, I instantly thought, well, Great Thief ruined it, and I'm happy to admit I was fully wrong. They updated it in a way that's tasteful and retains the humor of the first, but without attempting to make it a complete redo of the first. I especially liked the nod to the first with Alan's Jungle Hut. Hey, if Jack Black is attached to it, I can almost guarantee it's gonna be a good time. Jack Black doing a better job at playing a teenage girl than some teenager girls would. I'm pretty sure he could do almost anything comedic they throw at him. Board games. Honestly, they're so much fun, especially when you're also drinking. It's a great activity you can do together at home that isn't watching TV. Me and my husband like cooperative games best. Yes, it's always good to stay hydrated. Eldritch Horror, Mysterium, Forbidden Desert Pandemic, Elder Sign. Card games too. Cribbage is really fun. I was gonna say board games too. I was raised by a mum who for some reason hated them, so I wasn't exposed to them until well into my 20s. To this day I still generally turn down an invite to play board games, and am surprised at how fun they are when I sometimes acquiesce. My then fiancée wanted to go to the ultra expensive spa in our hotel the morning of our wedding and get pedicures. Of course I said I'd do it with her, even though mentally I was thinking of all the stuff I could've otherwise spent the money on. We are talking the $300 range for the two of us for reference. That's like more than 3 years of my haircuts. Turns out, pedicures are awesome. My feet have never received like that before, and they loved it. I was enjoying it so much, I even decided to color my toenails a fun color. I've never used apricot scrub before, but I need it rubbed on my legs more often. It feels like gritty mud, but it's much better than it sounds. Went on a ride at Six Flags called Devil's Drop, I think. You are strapped into a harness thing and lifted way up, then pull a pin to release, and you fly down like a swing, but terrifying. I'm terrified of heights. Can't even get on a ladder to clean gutters. But it was our honeymoon and I promised my husband I would try it, just once, for him. We got in line first thing, so that I couldn't back out. Shook the whole time getting up in the air and nearly peed my pants on the way down. But after it was done it was actually pretty fun. I did cry, just from the adrenaline rush I think, but the second time was much better. A cruise. It just seemed like being in a giant mall surrounded by pasty Midwesterners and all of the ports would be sanitized and inauthentic. And that's all true, but it's also really fun. Pasty Midwesterners know how to eat, drink, and karaoke. I've gone to ports I'd probably never think to travel to otherwise, and it can be a very cheap vacation, provided you can get to port cheaply as well. It's also a great way to travel with friends for the first time. You can hang out as much or as little as you want, and it's way better than sharing an Airbnb and finding out about their obnoxious bathroom quirks or whatever.